Right. Hopefully it finally started. Sorry, everyone. I had technical issues with. I'm just putting some. It's called Vet Wrap. It's a link in the show notes. I was having an issue with my computer and nothing wanted to work. Rebooted, camera still didn't want to work. Then I had the camera, no mic. So we're up and running now. Good morning, Christopher. So this is going to be unfortunately, the second dog I did for Paul. It's about, what's the dimensions on this? 12 and a quarter by 22 and 3/4. I will make a frame to go around it later. And I'm going to have to step away a second to get my blades. Hold on. Thanks, Car. So here we go. I'm going to be using a Niqua 2-aught spiral. Niqua is the same brand as Flying Dutchman, just oh, duh. You need power first. All right, here we go. Been a while since I've done this. Cool. Figures the first hole I'm going to use. Didn't go all the way through. All right. And I usually I drill these holes through on the drill press, but I usually keep a drill handy because I usually forget to drill a hole or two. What's up, Frank? What's up, Chris? Wes? Mother? So like I was saying, this is second time I'm doing a portrait of a dog for Paul. First time was spontaneous. Second time he asked me if I would. And of course, I said yes. Paul's a good guy. If you check him out, he's on Facebook and YouTube. Paul Meyette. Paul Meyette's Wood Shop. I got a sticker over there somewhere. Just garage door is blocked with stuff, so I can't even see. Hopefully everybody's doing okay with this. Yeah, that figures. This pandemic going around. Where to put the plates? Usually I put them in my pocket. There it is. So hopefully everyone's safe and if anybody has any questions, just type them up, and in between cuts I will try and answer them. Sorry, just muting my phone. Actually, I'm gonna lower this a little bit. Haven't been on this saw in a while. Like I said in the beginning, this is a 2/0 spiral. I like to cut all my patterns with a spiral, and then the border or straight cuts with a number 3 Pegasus modified geometry. Hi, McKenna. You little booger. There we go. And that, I think I put the picture of the actual, of Cooper as a thumbnail, I think. and that paw is on his dog tag. So really have to make sure that that didn't break. Sure, I can do that. Whoops. And this blade is gonna break. See if we can squeeze one cut out of it. I think I just bent it. So on this lever, I don't know if you could see it. Can I move this over a little bit? Yeah, sorry for the juggle. But this lever, you can get this chuck head for the DeWalt and the Delta, and not use the tensioner. That's what I used on my DeWalt for a few years. I was using the stock tensioner too much, and I was getting tendonitis activation in my forearm here. It was bothering me, so I switched the head. And when you flip this lever, it's as soon as you feel the first stop. Don't push it all the way. If you push it like that, it's going to pop out. As soon as you hit the blade, it's going to pop. Well, usually it'll pop. Yeah, see, it's starting to move. And then eventually, when you're in the middle of a cut, it's going to throw it. You only have to push it to the first spot. It stops. If you push it too far down, you'll hear that click. That's not what you want. Normally, you would think that that's like a locking, but no, it stays with that tension just right there, and it won't go anywhere. So you can get these heads for the DeWalt. Just leave your tension at 0 and then flip this tensioner. That's what I did. And if I did a long cut, like if I was on one of these cuts and I was like halfway through, and the blade, people say, oh, the blade doesn't stretch. Well, the amount of force I'm pushing, it does have a little bit of flex to it. It always does. But what I would do is if I see that and it's coming off my line, I can just give a little click on the DeWalt and tighten it up. Go finish my cut, put it back to 0, retighten this, and then I'm good. But a lot of times it doesn't come out on this head holds a lot easier. You don't have to crank down on this thumb screw. The saw is a Pegasus saw. It's a beautiful saw. And there's links to everything in the show notes. I'm just trying to concentrate. I was getting close. Now, the other thing is when you're cutting patterns, a lot of the times you can finagle the line a little bit. You don't actually have to go exactly on the line. On some patterns you can get away with not cutting all of the holes. And don't drill a hole unless you know you're not gonna. Yeah, so don't drill a hole if you say, these 5 are over here. Maybe I'll leave those 2 out. Just don't drill the hole. Then you don't have to cut it. If you drill the hole, you kind of commit to cutting it. Oh yeah, of course. It does have a little bit of flex to it, but I'm one of those people that really like push hard on the when it's going through. Sorry, that was a coffee break. So I will be doing more live scrolling, probably more at night than during the day, because the kids will be going back to school. And I'll probably be having to help them. So what's happening, Mike? Is anybody else out there? I didn't say hello to. I'm sorry. If you have any questions, just type them in the chat and I'll get to it. Yes, Charles did do the design for me. Thank you, Charles. I used to be a bottom feeder until I got this saw. And what was I cutting? I forget what I was cutting. It was very large, the piece, and I could not. I was like on this end or towards the other side, and I couldn't spin it. So I was trying to hold the piece out here, which I'm off camera, and try and get it in the bottom, and I kept snapping. So I gave up and tried the top feed, and now I'm a top feeder spiral cutter. Nobody's gonna like me. And I've had my two daughters, actually all three of my daughters actually cut on the scroll saw. McKenna kind of held her hands a little bit just to show her where to go. And then if it was a big cut, I let her do it herself. But the little kids, probably the safest machine you're going to have out in the wood shop, or any shop really, for them to learn on. And the cool thing with the spiral blade is you can turn the saw on and not hold the piece, and it will not, well, unless it's a crooked, unless you drill crooked and you're kind of stacked, you should be able to turn the saw on and it doesn't really jump. If you did that with a flat blade, it will catch and get that piece out of there before something happens. And if you touch the blade, you know, I'm touching the blade, actually moving the blade, and it doesn't cut your fingers. So you'll see me get my finger close, but it's not gonna cut. Before this spiral actually cuts my finger, it'll burn. I'll feel the burn before it actually draws blood. And even with the flat blade, it'll give you a little nick, but put a little Band-Aid on, you'll be all right. And I actually started with a flat blade. You go back to some of my pictures on Facebook, Instagram, YouTube. You'll see a horse head. Another pattern of Charles's that I did, and the first time I did it, I think it was like 12.5 hours or something like that. And I did that with a flat blade. And then when I switched to a spiral blade, I was in heaven. Never turned back. And then I did it in, what did I do? I think I did 2 of them in 6 hours. I stacked them. So I cut 2 at once. And I think I did it in 6 hours. And I think I did it a third time, just a single one, and I think I got it down to like maybe 5 hours. You know, if I scroll things live, it takes a little bit longer just because I can type and have a I can't do anything right this second. I can type a whole paragraph and talk to someone at the same time. But when I'm scrolling, I guess, I don't know if I use a different part of my brain, but I got to concentrate a little bit more. So I go a little slower with my movement. And another thing with this spiral blade is that you don't actually have to go to the line. You can come back and kind of like sand it, which is another cool thing to do. Sometimes when I'm doing tight hairs, what I'll do is I'll stay a blade length away from the line, and then after I get out the piece, I'll go back and I'll use the blade as like a little sander. Safety first. No way. So normally I go through. See me moving. I'm getting used to this stool I got from Bare Wood. I don't think I have a link to it. I'll have to put a link in there. But they have stools now that I was using I was using an office chair, and then I put a pillow on the seat to raise me up a little bit. And I used that for a while. And then I got another one from big box store during a huge sale. And that hole was a little tight. And then it was too high, and This saw is on a rolling stand. Just because I don't have a dedicated scroll saw spot in the shop, so I usually move it off to the side when it's not in use, and then pull it out when time to have fun. Wes, how'd your cut go last night? I didn't, sorry, I didn't watch it. Running around doing some things, and then I'm working on some plans for a card I just made. I was messing around with SketchUp till, I don't know, 11 o'clock. So 19 people are watching. That's good. This is streaming to, I believe, from what I can tell, Facebook under bearwoods.com, Bearwood Supply, Facebook page, Miter Mike's Woodshop Facebook page, and also, Miter Mike's Woodshop, and on YouTube, and I think Twitch. I think that's the ones I have it set for. So you guys don't mind liking, sharing. If you have anything you want made, you can also contact me. I'll tighten that a little bit. I've loosened it. Let's do that now. Was it 10 millimeter? Hold on one second. What's happening, Freddie? How you doing today? Yeah, it's an 11 millimeter. Oh, nut to tighten that. And some of these holes I started drilling while I was having PC issues. And what I normally use is this chuck adapter for my drill press. And it's on bearwoods.com. It also, they sell the Mascot drill bits. They're tiny, tiny. And of course, I was in a rush and I snapped one of them. So then I switched off and grabbed one of the other bits that were in there and just threw it in my regular drill. But they're very, very small bits. So this is a 2/0. I think the smallest is a 3/0 blade. I have them. I don't use them often because I don't want to get a migraine looking at lines that are 3/0. But you check out bearwoods.com or bearwood.com. You'll find a whole variety of blades there. Pegas are the sharpest blades I've used. I do love them. I get a little bit longer longevity out of a Nequa spiral, just because I'm not delicate most of the time with cutting. And the drawback to, well, yeah, throw that in your hat, dope. The drawback to the Pegas blades is that they are very sharp, but they're very brittle. But the Nequa blades are less sharp, but I could do this to a Nequa blade, put it in, tension it, and cut. If I did that with a Pegas blade, you will snap it. So, but it's really up to the person. That's why I tell everybody, buy a sample pack, test out the blades, spiral blade. It didn't break, it just popped out of the bottom. That would have been funny if it did snap. But what was I saying? Yeah, I tell people, buy a sample pack. That's in right. And test them out. Spiral blades, Nequa blades, Pegas blades, flat blades, skip tooth blades, modified geometry blades. See, on this one, I didn't get right to the line because on the other side of it, let's see. So just come up, back up to it, and just kind of like sand it. There you go. With this here, you see that little loop? Really should have drilled the hole on this side so that I would have really should have drilled it on this side. So then I could have came up and around it and then finished the cut. Right now, what I'm going to do is I'm going to clean this out just to get rid of this. Those pieces that sit out in limbo are delicate to the excess piece bouncing and then snapping the tip. So you just got to think about that sometimes when you're cutting. There's not too many tiny spots, but I usually leave the largest pieces for last. I like to cut all my little pieces first, just to get them out of the way. People were asking what, or not right this minute, but they've asked me before, what do I put my pattern down with? I used to glue it, do a spray 77 right to the pattern and then to the wood. Now I use this transfer paper. It's Oracle, I think. And then I'll put that down on the wood, which is this white. And then I'll spray 77, 3M 77, spray on the pattern, and then glue that to the transfer paper. And then when I'm done, I just peel the transfer paper off, and I have not yet come into a problem with peeling it off. I don't have to heat gun. There's no residue left behind. I don't have to use mineral spirits or anything, denatured alcohol, nothing. Just take it off, and sometimes maybe a little sand, but majority of the time I sand I sand the wood first, lightly sand, keep it smooth, and then put the transfer paper pattern, peel it off, and I don't usually have to sand it again. Maybe one or two spots. The back I do have to sand, but I have a micro motor, which when I'm done, hopefully I'll have time, I'll show you what that does. And I do have a video on it if you want to actually swing over and look at the video. Mike, I do normally. I haven't been on a scroll saw in a couple of months, so I lowered it a little bit, but there we go. That's all the way up now. I would say 99% of the time I do full speed, unless if that gets too loud, let me know and I'll lower the speed. But normally I have I usually cut a 1/4 inch my pattern, and then I glue it down to anywhere between 1/2 inch to 3/4 inch backer. That's not too loud, right? Mike, Charles, anybody else out there? This This headset usually noise cancels, but I don't know. All right, his nose is done. So far, so good. All right, cool. Thank you very much, gentlemen. How's the weather by all you guys? What's that? Ohio, Illinois, right? It's got to be out that way, right? Mike, I know Charles is in Texas. Hopefully the weather didn't cause too much havoc for you all. Indiana, close. Raining. Yeah, Tony. See, most people would probably change their blade about now since it's starting to bend, but I usually just wait till it snaps. Tony, you got to get back on that scroll saw. Yeah, that was going to happen. The bottom of the blade is bent, so it's... Yeah, I knew that was going to do. Might as well just stop. Oh, I have blades. Are you getting rid of it, Tony? I know Sophia will love it, or Alexa. They keep trying to steal this one. Tell them no, the other one's theirs. But there's two of them, so yeah, we'll see. Maybe we need to make a little bit more room in the shop. I'm running out of room fast, but we'll see. The other thing you have to remember is when you stop and take the old plate out and start with a brand new one, don't go as fast as you were, because I can guarantee you're going to fly off your line. Sharp blades cut fast. Oh, hitting the light. Come back. Come out a little bit. So until I get the proper lighting done in the shop, I do have a magnifier lamp. I don't use the magnifier as much lately just because I got good glasses. But every once in a while, I'll have to throw the magnifier down. Use it as a shelf. Alexa, I am making a dog for my friend Paul. Dog's name was Cooper. So he called him Super Cooper. Do I even need this? Let me shut this off for a second. Oh, that's why. There's a bulb out above my head. Yeah, Tony. When my scroll saw is not in use, I use it as a as a as a shelf too. No, I need the light back. I was wondering why it got so dark. Bulb went out. So yeah, if you need some magnification, just some lighting. Yeah, that's. Let's see if we can spin this around. Oh yeah, he's cute. The dog, you mean, right, Alexa? Not me. Hold on one second. I hear the dogs. Hold on. This is a 1/4-inch birch. Just regular birch, not Baltic. But I think it's going to be the backer. I think is going to be a 1/4-inch Baltic birch. That's what I have excess of. And for the most part, like when I do the where is it? They're over there. Hold on. So like when I do pattern like this, it's a 1/4-inch and then 1/2-inch. If I do it larger, it's 1/4-inch birch and then a 3/4-inch ply. It's usually my the smaller the pieces, the thinner the wood, the larger the pieces, the thicker the backer. That's in some cases, not everything. I do have a butterfly I'm doing for a silent auction. Breast cancer butterfly. I made a bunch of them. And that is a 1/4-inch and 3/4-inch. I'll show it in a minute. Hey, Tony, what's happening? How's Pops doing? How's the big red V treating you? Yeah, I hear you. Is that Alexa again? Some people like to tape their whole pattern down with, clear packing tape. They say it lubricates the blade. I don't see any difference in when I'm cutting. I'm not calling them any liar or discrediting their feel, but myself, I don't feel a difference in tape or no tape. I do see a difference in sawdust with tape and without tape. So sometimes the sawdust gets underneath the tape and causes me to lose my line a little bit. But when the sawdust does come on top of the tape, it does blow off a little easier, but you know. We need to use all that tape on the pattern. So that's another one that, see how there's a thin piece there. Spin that around. Hanging in there, Tony, hanging in there. Kids are going to start school soon, or some form of school. See in there, I cut that piece out and then I'll come back and clean that little one, because I know for a fact, I've done it multiple times. I left that whole thing and don't slow my speed, then that will snap. But it's easy enough to just come back and Cut this guy out. There you go. All right. Have a good one, Tony. Talk to you soon. And as you can see, corner hit the back of the saw. So that is, and that's the other good thing about using a spiral blade. You could do larger pieces. You're not stuck to one direction of cutting. You know, keep spinning your piece around. And the thing is, when you're using a spiral blade, you do cut better front to back than you do left to right. There's less flex in the blade. That might have more to do with the chuck head than the blade itself, but James Fox. I haven't seen James on here. Snuck in. So I would say we are about a quarter of the way done, roughly. Can I move this camera? Let me do this. I gotta move this. Move this into here. How's that better? Yeah, good. Okay. Gotta find a spot for this left foot. If anybody out there has any questions, just type them in the chat. Anybody else out there that scrolls? What saw do you use? What blades do you use? You a hobbyist? Do it for a living? Whoops. Kara, I am using a 2/0 Nequa spiral. Nequa is the same brand as Flying Dutchman in the States. So I should have a link to the blade in the show notes or description, whatever. And 2/0 spirals are my standard blade I use to cut pretty about everything I do. Or I should say any pattern I do. Other than that, I use a Pegasus modified geometry blade. It's usually 3 or 5. Rough meaning the inside. I don't really see too much of a rough. What I do is I usually go back through with a micromotor. At the end of this, I will demonstrate it. But on the back, it does leave the fuzzies, as you can see. But that's what I use the micromotor for, mainly to take all the fuzzies off. And if there's 1 or 2 spots that will be rough, but I don't know if you could see that. I don't really see too much of a rough cut on it. Maybe because it's such a fine teeth. I know if you go to like a 5 or a 7 or 12, the teeth on them are much larger. So maybe that you'll see a difference on that. But now I don't. Now my perimeters I don't cut with the spiral. I just cut the pattern. The perimeter I usually cut with a modified geometry number 3, and that leaves it smooth as can be. Like there's no sanding whatsoever on that, and that's my end. Yeah, come on. Yep, fit through. But I've cut 1.5 inches, I think, is the fattest. An 1.75 inches. I forget. I did. What was it? I forget how thick it was. I stacked a bunch of coasters I was doing. I think they were 3/4. So was that 3/4? 3/4? So 3 inches? And I started to cut, and the blade just was not moving really anything. It needs to move up enough for the blades to actually cut. So I took one off, and I think it was 2 inches. And the funny thing is, at the time, whoops, come on. I straightened and it was too long. But the knob was actually up and down on the other saw I was using, and I got my finger close because I was cutting, and the what's it called? The thumb screw just, jackhammered my finger, and I learned don't do that. Hurts a little bit. Yeah, Kara, if you check the link, Bearwood has a sample pack you can purchase and test them out. I forget what sizes they are. I think there's a couple of different sizes in there. And see what you like, because I know my buddy Wes, he uses strictly Pegasus spirals, and I use predominantly Nequa spirals. Both carried up there wood, but it's really up to the person how they feel cutting, the speed, how fast you're going to push the wood through the blade. So a lot of people ask, what's the best blade? Well, the best blade is one that cuts the best for you. So try them out, see what you like best, and then once you find that blade, I would suggest ordering a gross, which is a 12 dozen, just because they're cheaper that way. Between ordering 12 single dozens and shipping, and overall on the price difference, you get a pretty good price break. If you start cutting a lot, you go through a lot more blades. Oh, that was a big one. Which one do I want to cut first? Let's try this one. Whoops. If anybody has any questions, just type them and in cuts, I'll answer them. Hey, Rigor. Hey, if you're ever in the area, traveling north, let me know. Stop in and play on it. So I'll tell you one thing, when she starts cutting on it, she's going to want one. Yeah. Rigor. You want to be called Rigor or John? Which one? Right? Don't you? Good morning, Dennis. How you doing today? But yeah, Rigor, Donna is more than welcome to stop by and try it. I am hoping that the Makers Camp is still on. I am on the slate to be there with this scroll saw and the scroll bandsaw and the lathe turning pens for the military. I'm going to be with Nick, Tech Ed Fireman. I can't think of his last name. But yeah, we'll be. I'll be with him, turning pens, scrolling, playing on the bandsaw, the scroll bandsaw. As of now, it's still on. I haven't heard any different. Oops. It went off the line. Here we go. Hey, Donna. So Donna, I hear that you have the itch to scroll now. How long we've been going for? An hour and a half. That's not so bad. I would say we're almost halfway. Probably once I get done with this from here. Because they're small pieces, but there's a lot more ins and outs changing. And I am working on, before COVID hit, Pegasus was working on a larger table. So it'll come out, I believe, further this way and wider. It's more of a triangle, a rectangle, right? Yeah, triangle. Yeah, try using a triangle. Rectangle table instead of it's a little bit smaller in the back than in the front. A whole lot different than the DeWalt. DeWalt is much larger in the front and tiny in the back, and I was having major problems with large pieces because I am unconventionally not unconventionally. Yeah, no. I'm an unconventional scroller. I don't know, but I do large pieces, and larger the piece, the more fun it is to try and cut it on a scroll saw. So on that DeWalt, once you got the back end of the piece would just fall out. You know, I'll be using a lot more control and stability, so it's going to be fun switching out this table shortly. But yeah, like I was saying, before COVID hit, they were designing it and working to release it. Now I believe it is released. Dennis, yes. It's more towards the Seiko tabletop, but this one will be the powder coated. The Pegasus has a powder coated top. Hey Russ, how you been? How'd the hurricane? Yeah. Tornado? No, hurricane. Yeah, hurricane's the water. How'd the hurricane do? Hopefully all is well. We're just feeling the effects of that now with the rain that's through our area. Yeah, glad it's over. Yeah, Dennis, it's I'm gonna look into ordering it this week. Make sure I could get it, and maybe we'll change it out live. Some people have an issue with the when they get the table at the. Let me erase this. That, yeah, well, that's been used a lot, so that's why the hole is bigger. But normally it's just a elongated hole. It's not really oval, right? Because oval isn't, I don't know, elongated hole, I should say. So if the table is off, you can loosen these 4 bolts and you can center it and then tighten these back down. There's a little bit of play in the bottom. Some people have, and these are recessed holes. So normally on this side here, these 4 holes hold the dust collection. I took it off. I don't even know where I put it. I think it's on the shelf. I don't usually use dust collection on the scroll saw, just because if I'm doing this live, you're not going to want to listen to a shop vac going. So nope, that didn't go through. That went through. Onboard Windows. Better make sure that CNC's all right. Couple weeks, Russ, we'll get back to that badge. It's 16 people watching. It's cool. Thank you for watching. If you have any questions, please type them in. So I'm going to be doing more live videos of scrolling. So if anybody has any suggestions on what they would like to see, just let me know. Wow, this was a large section. Hold on one second. Donna. I'm not understanding that, Rigor. What kind of scroll saw is she using? Sorry, I'm quiet. I don't know if anybody has any questions, but when I cut, try and concentrate a little bit more, um, which slows down my talking. All right, moment of truth. Whew. That was a long one. Penn Industries. Penn Industries. The Penn? Like Penn State Industries? I've only dealt with them for pen kits and stuff, not anything else. Unless you're talking about something else. I thought we were talking about scroll saws. Yeah. They make a scroll saw? Or are you talking about pen turning? Sorry. Oh, they do? Huh. 1987. Wasn't even born in 87. No, just kidding. All right, let's get these little ones done. If I knew that that was going to be a large one, I would have done these little ones first. I don't like to do little ones around large openings. It's just, I don't know. That's how I started doing things. Hey, Chippy! How you doing, Chip? 87. 87. How old was I? 87. I was 12, right? 76, 86, 87. No, I was 11. Right? Yeah. I don't know. Yeah, 11. Oh, so we're the same age. At 11, I was probably driving around New York City with my father, changing the timers on the street lights. He let me go up in the bucket, change the timer, come down in the bucket. He drive to the next one. Just duck down in the bucket. Yeah, that would go against every OSHA law out there, but yeah, so didn't have a scroll saw at 11, but I was playing with electricity. I think the scroll saw was a little safer. Oh, Ma, you knew about that? Kind of I really told it. Yeah. Yeah, it was fun. And it was those timers that you had the little notch and then you little knob to turn. I come home with like a pocket full of them. I forget to take them out. All right. Oof. See, and this is the reason why I don't like to do cuts after releasing a large portion of it. There's a lot of wood still here. It's just I don't like to take the chance. You know, having nothing here, but having this all together gives it a little bit more stability. But sometimes you gotta live on the wild side. Just really gotta hold the two sides down. Just make sure it doesn't jump on you. And Donna, you can, you know, if you want to come over and try the saw, but I use a foot pedal on mine, so I could control when it starts and stops, and I don't have to worry about fiddling with a top switch there. I missed a little piece there. One of the main reasons why I started with a foot pedal was because the DeWalt would cause me agita. With the switch was temperamental. It would start, it wouldn't. I'd take it off, mess with the wires, and then it would work for a week or two. So then I was going to order the foot pedal. The other thing is when the blade snaps on the DeWalt, the arm really bounces. On this saw, it doesn't jump that much. You could still grab the, flip the switch. But I got used to the pedal, the foot pedal, and now that's all I use. I have it on both saws. Yeah, like a sewing machine. Yep. There's a dead man switch, which is what I use. You put your foot on it, it goes on. You let your foot off, it stops. Then there's the on-off switch that you click it on, and then you click it off. And you know, I like the dead man switch. I think I have a link in the description. Donna, we're in Freehold here, Monmouth County. Oh yeah, Donna. I grew up in Richfield Park, so Bergen County. Two hours. Come on, we could do it faster than that. Hour and a half. Hey, Jesse, how are you? Oh, there you go. Kenna's dying to come out on video. Yeah, I hear you, McKenna. And why did I just do that? I don't like, I don't know, I don't like cutting left to right. I don't mind cutting right to left or front to back or back to front. I don't know. It might be just the, I think I have more control with this right hand. I should say better control. I am doing great, Jesse. Thank you. I woke up this morning. I feel good. I could come out and play on the saw. I'll be back in 1 second. Sorry about that. All right, where were we at here? Yeah, sure. Donna road trip. I'm doing the exact thing I said I don't like to do. But it worked. Come on, fall out. Alrighty. Come on. All right. We're getting there. We're getting there. All right, let's start on the bottom. Start on the bottom and work our way up. Just real quick, make sure I got all these holes. So I don't have to stop and do any more drilling. Good, good. Okay, cool. We're good. See if I can lower this screen a little. Get a little closer. Thing is, if I get too close, the tripod touches the saw, and then, whoops, gotta loosen that first. Tripod touches the saw, and then vibrates a little. Let me just see how that does. I don't see any bouncing on the screen, so if you do see anything, just let me know, because I'll just scoot it over a little bit. The one thing I do like about this saw versus any of the other ones I've used or seen, I love the powder coating top. It is smooth. Plus, there's no worry about rust. Well, unless it chips and then. But I don't know if I like smaller holes. I mean, more smaller cuts than larger cuts. But they do go fast when you have a smaller cut, but then you have to take it out, move it over. Still 9 people out there hanging out. Mm. Whoops, forgot to release the pressure, tension. This hole might probably be covered by the frame, but when I was gluing the piece down, it kind of shifted, and as there's a larger space than over here. Oops. Nobody will see that. Since I know that's going to be covered, I didn't go all the way to the bottom. I left some of the gray there, because I know it's going to block it about that much, so no sense in going all the way to the bottom. Same thing with this one. I'll keep it a little shy. Oh, thank you very much. Cleve, right? Cleve's Backyard Woodworking. Welcome. Let's see this. So what kind of woodworking do you do, Cleve? That's a large. It's going to be a large piece, and this single. So let's do around here, and then we'll come back to that. Oh, there you go. Well, like my buddy Jimmy says, right on. Ah. Well, Cleve, there's a lot of power carving um, items on Bearwood's website, and they also, I think, you can find the Facebook page, power carving Facebook page that they run. If you want to join and show people your work. Ask questions. And I don't think that's drilled all the way through. It's not. Let's go to this one. Just bent the blade, you little bum. Oh, you do? Okay, cool. Yeah, we're almost done. Maybe another 30 more holes. Normally I count how many you start with, but because of the computer issues I was having this morning and starting late, I didn't count. Prior to coming on. I don't know why we count. See how many more holes we could do next time. Whew. Get the drill. We'll drill that one little hole. Yeah, we're far enough off the table to worry about drilling it. I know my buddy Wes, he was drilling a hole one day and actually drilled right into the tabletop of his DeWalt. Oops. All right, so that's Yeah, might as well just keep going up here. We're getting closer. We're getting closer. What I do is to get the pattern on. What I do is I sand the wood, lightly sand it just so that it's smooth. And then what I'll do is I'll put down transfer paper, which is this this stuff right here. And then what I'll do is then I'll use a 3M spray adhesive, 77 number 77 or 90. It doesn't matter. And then glue the pattern to the transfer paper. And then when I'm done is when I peel it off. I don't even have a. Where's that big piece? When I'm done and I go to peel it off, it literally just comes off without any issue and leaves no residue, no sanding needed. It almost looks like Italy backwards. Maybe a little bit more of a tail, but sorry. Off on a tangent. But yeah, there's no residue whatsoever. No sanding on the top. The back does need to be sanded. But after I'm all done, I'll use the micromotor and show everyone how I finish the back. That's the best way I've found so far. Some people use the spray adhesive and then use denatured alcohol or mineral spirits. To wet the paper, and then it takes the glue, then they got to clean the glue off, and then sometimes the moisture raises the grain, and then you have to sand it again. But I did do that a little bit, but it's too much of a hassle. It took too much time. And then one day I did a pattern. I used the shop towels from Harbor Freight, and the red came off on the the fuzz of the towel came off too, but the red like soaked into the pattern, into the wood. I'm like, why is this red? And then stupidly never use that again. But I learned the hard way on that one. But any other time, I've always had to do too much after work. So this stuff is So far the best. I think that's 1,000. I want to say the roll comes like 1,000 meters. 1,000 meters or 1,000 feet? I don't remember. And it doesn't matter how long the pattern stays on. Like I've had patterns I was doing and started and left it on there for about a week, and I didn't have any issue peeling it off. It peeled off nicely. No issues whatsoever. I do have a link in the description for that transfer paper. Whoops. Well, so I'm probably going to have to sign off for 2:30. I have an appointment, and then I'll be back on. What I'll do is when I get back, I will finish cutting the pattern and then jump on to show you the finishing product, cleaning up the back, gluing it down. I use both Titebond Original, Titebond Original, and Titebond CA glue to glue my patterns down. CA glue is more of a, quick grab, and then the Type Bond will just, finalize the seal. People say you can use CA just straight and then not, but I don't know. I don't want to worry about the humidity and changing temperature and all this other stuff. It's plywood, it shouldn't move. I just don't want to be called back from a customer that says, it's popped off. Or, you'll get like the center of the lift, right? And then what are you going to do? How are you going to glue that? So, all right. So I will be back in about an hour or so, and we'll finish this puppy up then. Thank you for watching. We'll be back.